I woke up at 2 a.m. and found my autistic son in the kitchen staring at the locked pantry, whispering that he was counting to 10,000 because his teacher, Mr. Bleak, said warriors don't eat until they earn it. And my son takes everything literally, so he stopped eating breakfast unless he held his breath for 2 minutes first. And when I called the teacher, he laughed and said kids who claim autism are just looking for attention, especially ones who can't handle basic mental toughness exercises. So I hung up, but my son kept getting thinner until another mom told me Mr. Bleak locks him in the classroom during lunch for advanced training. And then my son collapsed at school, and the ER doctor said he was severely malnourished, down 12 pounds, hadn't eaten properly in weeks. And when I asked him when he last earned a meal, he whispered it was Tuesday and it was Friday. And he explained that Mr. Bleak weighs them every Monday and said the first kid under 70 pounds becomes a real soldier while the others stay civilians. So I went to the principal, who smiled sadly and said the teacher is a veteran and my son probably just takes things too literally. Maybe he needs the special class instead. And the police said talking about warrior mindset isn't illegal. So I had no choice. I followed my son to school and watched the teacher whisper something that made my son's face glow with pride even though he wasn't eating. And when my son collapsed again, the doctor said one more incident means CPS for medical neglect. So I called my brother Diego, who did 2 years for violent self-defense, and we went to the school on Friday night when the teacher worked late alone, and Diego brought zip ties and a baseball bat for show while I recorded everything on my phone. And when we walked into his classroom, the teacher recognized me and tried calling security, but Diego stepped forward and the teacher rose, and I showed him photos of my son hooked to IVs and asked why he convinced a 7-year-old to earn food by holding his breath, and the teacher shrugged and said he never told him not to eat. The kid just took warrior stories too seriously. But then I mentioned the Monday weigh-ins, and he actually pulled out a chart from his desk showing all the kids' weights in red pen with stars next to my son's name showing he was winning, and he kept talking about how Theo wanted to be special so badly he'd do anything, how the weak ones show themselves, how it was natural selection, and my son was too stupid to understand metaphors. And that's when we heard footsteps, and the school resource officer walked in with his hand on his gun, and Mr. Bleak immediately slumped forward acting terrified and demanded we be arrested for assault. So the officer took us to the station, and they charged me with criminal trespass while Diego got hit harder because of his record, and CBS took my son into protective custody, saying I might not be safe placement given the criminal charges. And I had to do supervised visits where my son asked if he done something wrong, but then a reporter started digging into Mr. Bleak's background and found he'd been disciplined at other schools for making him do excessive physical training, and a school counselor named Faith came forward with notebooks documenting 12 incidents over 3 months where she reported concerns, but the principal said Mr. Bleak's test scores were the best in the district. And when Faith finally testified at the school board hearing, she read emails showing she'd been told to stop making waves or find another school. And 3 days later, Mr. Bleak's lawyer announced his immediate retirement with full pension because the district wanted to avoid a trial that would expose their failures. And the prosecutor offered me a plea deal of misdemeanor trespass with probation if I agreed not to sue, which meant Mr. Bleak faced no real consequences, but at least hurt more kids last. And Diego served 4 months before getting released to a halfway house. And CBS closed my case after 3 months when the therapist reported my son was gaining weight steadily and making progress with food-related trauma. And the district transferred my son to a new school with a full-time aide who explained exactly when to lunch and where he'd go with overwhelm. And now 6 months later, my son is full lunch every day without asking if he earned it. And when his new teacher sent home a note saying he held another kid with math, I cried because normal childhood felt incredible after watching 10,000 at 2 a.m. Our warrior.